We need to close this European BIM Summit right now, and we will try to sum up what has happened over these 2 days. We've had 55 speakers, 15 sessions, 437 attendees. We are happy to see that most of you are still here, even if it's this time. So this means that what we've been hearing has been very interesting, but other things have happened that you haven't seen. There has been a European meeting, Saint-Gobain. While we were here at the European BIM Summit, there's been a BIM users group meeting. It has gathered all the BIM users from Spain. There's been a Green Building Council Spain plus INECO meeting. And INECO has also had a technical council meeting. There's been more than 40,000 tweets. And right now there are more than 20 universities following us via streaming. We want to be transparent, as BIM implies. We have the last screenshot from the Twitter activity. You see over 40,000 tweets on the last day. There have been some news as well. We have also implemented 2 new languages, Italian and Farsi. They were interested in participating in the European BIM Summit, so we've included them. Also, upstairs, we've been doing the Talent BIM Marketplace. It's been open from, well, all the morning. There have been 30 professionals taking place of it from the BIM world, and there have been over 62 interviews with different software companies, 2 software companies, 1 architecture practice, 2 engineering companies, and 2 headhunting consultancies. That's something we want to boost for the next summit. There have been some recordings of elevator pitches for more than 20 people. We have also collaborated with Barcelona Activa. This afternoon, and this is important, from 3 to 7, we are going to have several workshops, open workshops and free. Lunch will be at the Port Vell room, only for the people attending the workshops, okay? And if you are not assisting the workshop, you would have to sign up for lunch and then attend. Professor Reimer Scheder has also mentioned that because he has more time now, he can share more information about the European project he has talked about. He will be available during lunch, and if you are interested, he can even do a personal workshop for you. We want to show you what's going to happen next year. France will be the guest country. We have some names confirmed and also some speakers and institutions. There will be new topics. We are going to try to talk about it. Facility and assets management. Maybe that's the thing we haven't really talked that much. We are also going to talk about GeoBIM, how we can use BIM at urban level. And something that has appeared recently, it's the gamification around BIM, how we can work with BIM through video games and also using video game technology. Here you can see some projections for the agenda for next summit. Next week we are going to have a meeting to start organizing the 2017 summit. And for me, that's pretty much it. I wanted to thank you for having shared this 1.5 days. If you can do more tweets, we'll be happy. I want to thank the interpreters at the booth. Many speakers have already thanked them. I also want to thank Isaac, Albert, Adrià, the person in charge of the streaming, because they have made this possible. And now Sergio has the floor. Thank you, Ignacy. I will be very quick. I'm going to say quite the opposite of what Ignacy has said. We're not starting next week. We actually did start some weeks ago for the 2017 European Summit, and we are working so that we can combine the European Summit with the Summit from Building Smart, so that the next spring Barcelona will become the world center for BIM. I also wanted to apologize for any mistakes we have maybe made. We tried to gather a lot of feedback last year to improve this one, and probably we can do the same for next year. So your feedback will be welcome, so we can be even better next year. Now Jordi Gonçalves takes the floor.
Well, good afternoon again, everybody. Now it's time for the closure of the second European BIM Summit, and before we draw any conclusions, I would like to say that I would like to thank the organizers, BIM Academy, BIM Spanish chapter, and the Barcelona Association for Technical Architects and Surveyors. We would like to thank you for the massive participation, both here and also through the streaming. We would also like to thank to all entities, professionals and companies that have collaborated as speakers, and also to acknowledge the high level of all their presentations and contributions. I would like to thank ROCA and all the other partners and sponsors for their collaboration and involvement in this event. Without them, this event wouldn't have been possible. The different presentations we've seen here over the last 2 days, they have reinforced some concepts that really concern our sector, and that our sector is trying to understand better, and that need to include in their dictionaries as soon as possible, such as virtualization, collaboration in the building industry, and so on. These kind of terms shouldn't be aliens anymore. Another way to build is possible. We already have the means and the technology to change our interventions in buildings. Now it's time that the sector reaches out to new technologies, and that we speak about a new industrial revolution in a very convinced way. Among all the industry sectors in Spain and Catalonia, the building one, it's right at the bottom part of the ladder when regarding industrialization. And BIM, it's the method that it has to be used in order to fill these gaps that we are facing today. We cannot and should not stop renovating ourselves and reinventing our sectors. Both companies, professionals and the public administration must be strongly committed and make the necessary efforts to reach our ultimate goal and to be successful. As the president and the chairman of the Barcelona Association of Technical Engineers, Quantity Surveyors and Building Engineers, I would like to present you a document that's been uploaded on our website, because we've lined a new consultancy line for our members, which is called the BIM Consultancy of the CAATEB, the association. There, all the interested people can find information on the different systems and methodologies based on BIM from their own offices. This document will make recommendations considering the particularities of each case, and to see what's the offer on the market, and also to recommend the aspects that are going to have an influence on the decision-making process. Finally, our members have a wide range of professionals available, professionals that have long experience in the BIM implementation processes, and these people are going to draw a plan that architecture offices can use in order to implement BIM. As a final point of this European BIM Summit 2016, I would like to see or to summarize the last year, and at the same time to invite you to think about the same concerns that move and drive the BIM or of the organizers of these events. A year ago, when we finalized the European BIM Summit, the public Catalan administration signed the Manifesto BIMCAT in Barcelona, and they committed to implement gradually the BIM, the Building Information Modeling, in the building industry in Catalonia. Some months after, the Transport and Public Works Ministry decided that it was necessary to define the right strategy for the BIM implementation at a national level. Bearing that in mind, we believe that it's necessary to assess all the steps done in the last year by all the stakeholders in order to reach the defined goals. Now, we summarize these steps in 10 different bullet points. We believe it's very positive that two committees have been set up. These committees are Building the Future in Catalonia and the BIM.S committee in Spain. And their work groups have a very large participation. Their outputs are going to be published very soon. Secondly, some administrations such as infrastructures.com and some organizations in Andalusia have launched BIM projects in building projects throughout the different stages. In parallel to that public initiatives, there have been some private actions, such as the Football Club Barcelona. All of them are having a very interesting effect. In the third place, despite the high expectations, there are still few actions being carried out in our country. They are mostly pilot projects that will allow to implement BIM in different typologies and budgets. For the implementation of training programs at by some universities and colleges must be general and be extended to technical schools, and also to be extended and professional education. And of course, the professional colleges and association must be part of that. Without an adequate university education, this transition won't be possible. 5, the training in BIM methodology cannot be limited to the technological aspects. It must be wider and in order to disseminate and implement a collaborative methodology. This means a change in mindset and a new way of thinking and see and approach the project, the works, the execution and maintenance. 6, some efforts must be done in order for these initiatives to be interconnected in a real information network where everyone can take advantage of the previous experiences, optimize resources and work coordinatedly. 7, we have to analyze properly all the processes which have been set up in other places and use them as a model for efficient implementation of BIM in our country. We should establish dialogue bridges among different work groups, both at the national and international level. 8, analyze works and the transition towards BIM that have been already carried out must have the necessary resources in order to be successful, and having the backing of the different stakeholders, public administration, colleges and the whole sector. 9, the building industry is being modernized and updated and must have a specific budget which has to be given by the public administrations. These must have corporate social responsibility towards the industry, as it has been done in other production sectors. Besides, some part of this effort must be towards the creation of the legal framework. In this conference, we've known that France is going to give 20 million euros in 3 years for the change and the digitalization of the industry, and has already a plan to develop 500,000 housing units using BIM until 2017. We've also seen that the UK's mandate has been announced by by the minister himself. Also, that in Finland, since 1997, has invested 4 million euros, and that Germany is going to invest 2,700 million euros until 2020 for large pilot projects using BIM methodology. Currently, neither in Catalonia or in Spain have specified the budget. Therefore, all the agents participating in BIM are carrying out or are doing an over-effort, which cannot be prolonged forever. And finally, the organizers of the European BIM Summit, we defend the need for resources in order to make the building industry at the same methodological and technological level as in our neighbor countries and be competitive. This document that I just read is available outside. You can have it in Catalan, Spanish and English. And you'll see 2 tables just below the stairs. Well, after these considerations and the reflections that can be derived from then, we close this event, and I would like to remember you that all the activities from the European BIM Summit are not over yet. You can participate in the different workshops that we have prepared for you in the different rooms upstairs, the first level. That's not, a final stop, because the organizers of the European BIM Summit, and we are already working for the next edition next year, 2017, and we hope that you'll be there with us in order to make this summit as a turning point for BIM knowledge internationally. BIM Summit is a European forum where professionals gather in order to put together all the knowledge and to share experiences from different countries, our neighboring countries, where better political or financial conditions are available, and therefore the summit must be a fixed date on your calendar for next year. And for those interested in Boost BIM in the industry also, we would like to remind you that there are some workshops, specific workshops, all over the year, the BIM days, and last year we had 8 of them. They are called BSE days. And finally, in May 20 and 21st in Valencia, the 5th edition of BIM meeting, EU BIM, is going to be held, and that's considered to be a scientific congress. I would like to welcome Alberto Cerdá, technical architect and one of the organizers of that event, who has been there for us over the past few days, and we would meet again in Valencia, and therefore the second European BIM Summit edition is closed. Thank you very much.